Hi everyone, I'm Grottles, and welcome to the Best Start 3 series. This is episode 4? Yeah, I believe so. Wow. Anyway, I was going to do oil this episode, but we're not ready for oil. We're not making motors, we're not making a whole bunch of stuff, and we really need to. So I decided let's up the coal production. But we had an issue with some water. We didn't have a lot of water around. So I made a water tower and we actually doubled the coal production from 1200 to 2400. So today I'm going to show you how we did that. So yeah, let's jump in and get started. Alright, so over in here is that water tower. And I will at the end of the episode show you how to build this if you do not know how to. But anyway, you're going to need 8 water extractors because we're doubling our system. And they're all going to have to be overclocked to 200 because each one is going to 4 power generators and they each take 50. So make sure they're all overclocked to 200. So all the pipes are kind of ran all the way over there. And if you do the water pump first, then you might want to skip to the end of the episode. But for now, we're going to head over to here, and this will all be gone, and we're going to actually build all this. Now, if you want to skip this episode because you know how to build the coal, then go right ahead. But we do have some kind of key points that you have to keep in mind. We unlocked Logistics 4, and we need Mark 4 belts and lifts to do some of this. So I set it up and I show you everything because a lot of you follow me and want to know step by step how I do everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So right now our power generators are still running off of the other water and I'm going to leave them running. The reason being is we need them to keep generating power for now. What we're going to do too is we have to unlock our 480 belts. We only have the Mark 3, which is the 270, and we definitely need 480. Over here, I'm thinking we're going to leave a bit of a space here. So let's grab this. Let's see if we could turn this around and kind of line this up with this one. So let's see. That would bring us to about here. All right, this is kind of in the way. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to move this. We'll add some way to get up there. Let's grab that again. I'm gonna line it up with that. I'm gonna press H. We're just gonna move it down. Can we make it do right here and then split it right here? I think that would work. Let's put it in there. We're gonna need stairs to get up there or a ladder or something because we're too small. Alright, let's grab just a ladder. Maybe that would just be helpful. Can we put it right in between here? Kind of keep it out of sight, out of mind here. That would work. Let's climb up here. This would work. I think this is fine. We'd start our next generator right above this one, which would be here. Let's line that up with that. How is this lined up? I gotta look again. Okay, this is lined up with that one. I'm just going to press H. Make sure that's lined up to that. I think we can do that. I think so. Alright, so we just need quite a few more. Just quite a few. We're going to need 7 more on the top, 7 more on the bottom. Now, that makes me think we're going to probably have to move our miner. Ooh, I don't think our miner's going to fit. Let me just see something here. Really didn't think much about the miner, to be honest. Let's line that up. H. If I came all the way down, where's that going to end up? Too close to there. That miner's going to be in the way. If we come all the way down, which we're going to have to. Come pretty much down to at least here. So yeah, that's gonna mess up that. We might have to tear down the other side and do this side a little different. So let's do this. Let's grab that. And actually, let's move it back about one square. I think that would be best. So I'm just gonna back these off. That middle one we're keeping there. I'm gonna grab this. We're gonna come out. I'm gonna press H. And I did want to move it back to there. We might actually have to move our water pumps that I already brought in, but that should work there. So now I'm gonna hold this. Let's do this. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna press H. It's gonna sit up higher because of that. I'm gonna go. All right, let's see. Let's put that down a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold up. I gotta do this right. 7 and 8. So 8 would start right at this edge. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to nudge these in so they don't pop up from the ground here. So what I'm going to do is line it up here, press H, and scoot it all the way down to there. I'm going to do that with all of those going in that way, and they should fit perfectly. So let me just back it up here because I don't want it lifted. And we're going to bring that up. There we go. And that one will sit there perfect. Hello. All right, so we got those 8 in. We're going to have to move those 8, but I want to switch it when we get it running. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to, it's going to get a little tricky. So we're going to have to bring the pipes in through the middle. I don't think that's enough room unless we, well, no, we're going to drop those down. We should be able to fit 4 and 4. And then 2 would go that way, 2 would go that way. That would be the most practical way. See, I didn't do everything behind the scenes. This is not good. That should not be that way. So we actually might have to back these up just a little bit because these guys are now going to be backed up a little bit. If those are there, that means these have to kind of sit. Ooh, let's see. Let me see something here. So we have the backs of these that way and the fronts of these this way. So this would actually get turned around. Yes. Back up a little bit here. I'm going to go with H second. I'm going to bring these back. Do I want them? I'm stuck on the damn belt. Okay, there we go. I don't know if I want them there. I think that looks good. And we might have to put another road this way. I'm okay with that. So that's 1, 2. I'm in the way. I know I'm in the way. We're going to have to take this concrete. Let's do this. So I don't fall off the edge here. There we go. All right, let's try the... Oh, we got to put some more of these down. There we go. There we go. All right, let's grab that again and try this again. All right, switch it there. So what do I say? I forget my count. 1, 2, okay. 3. Okay, so that's our 8 there. So 2, 3, 4. So 4 of these are going to drop. So I think the inside 4 are going to drop down. And then these 2 will go that way. And then these 2 will go that way. All right. So these power poles are going to have to get moved. So let me grab that and move it over to here. In case you're wondering what I just did. So if you grab a power pole, you can actually grab the line just like that and then bring it in like that. And then you can actually, let's take that away a second. That's not going to have power for a minute. It's fine. Let me get rid of that one a second. Got power going there. Let's see. Let me just run this way a second so I can make sure they get back on power. So I don't want to lose power. Okay, there we go. Now, as you can see, it's getting dark. And it's going to get harder and harder to see what I'm doing. I can now remove this one, by the way. I can grab this, make it come down here. And then connect this to this one. And that would work for now. Alright, so I'm going to wait for it to get daytime again because it's getting really dark. And I want you to be able to see everything I do. Although you do know how to... Technically, you don't need to watch me do this because you've seen me do it in the last episode. But it's a refresher, and because we're doing so many machines, I thought it would be nice that you could see, watch it again. And we're moving things, and if you want to do this in your city, then you might want to watch it just to see how I moved everything. So yeah, I'll be back when it turns daytime, and we'll go from there. Alright, so it's getting a little brighter now, so I think I could work on this. Do I think I could pass these two? I think I can. That way. I think so. Well, I think so. We'll see. But anyway, these, we can end up putting them in here. And you'll have to buy the floor holes in the store. So you definitely need to buy those. But now they'll be able to drop down and run across this way to the front. Right through this path. Now, do I think this guy might be in the way a little bit? He actually might be. We might need to shift this side over when we redo that side. I think we're definitely going to have to move it down just a little bit, which is fine. This stuff we can... Well, there's actually room, if you look. There's plenty of room to bring this to here, so that's fine. So anyway, let's go ahead. Let's go over to here. And where is it? I think we'll do the bottom. Why not, right? So let's bring this down. We're going to get a MK1 pipe. And I guess we'll bring it right to there. No, I don't like that. I want it to come straight. Let's try that again. Where is that? That is in the middle. Okay. So you do have to come out a little bit. Otherwise, they look like they're bending backwards a little. I think right there. Nope. Back up. It is in the middle, right? It's right before the middle. So it should be right there. That does bend back a little. Let's try it one more time. Because I don't really want it to bend too far in. And that bends too far out. Okay, we're going to just go with this one. Come on. There you go. Yeah, we're just going to do that one. Alright, so let's take the front of these. And put those down. It's easier to do that, otherwise they try to connect to the other one. So next, let's go ahead and grab these. And these are filled with water. We're going to have to remove this so we can actually get through. That makes sense. And we're going to remove the ladder. Okay. So, before we go any further, we need to unlock the MK4 belts. So let's go back and do that. And I'm going to turn off fog again. There, makes it a little bit better. The sun is coming up. It's a little dark. At least you could see a little bit better than you could before. Alright, we're back at the hub. So, Tier 5, Logistics 4. We need rubber, which I have from crash sites. We need 300 encased beams. I did make a couple of those up. And we have modular frames. So the encased beams you can make by hand, but I also got some from crash sites. So we got 1, 2, and 3. And then rubber, I did get some from crash sites. I might have put it in the dimensional depot. Let's see. I did. So we needed, how much? 200 of that, I think. And then we need the Well, let's go ahead and do this and select that milestone. Then we could see it here. All right, let's go grab those modular frames. Alrighty. Let's send this off. Okay. So, anyway, in here, the MK4, those are going to take the encased beams. I will have to make a few just to get us up and running for the, I think we have a few, but I think I only have 56. I'm going to have to make a few of those in order to just get the belts going. We might have enough with the 56 because we do only need the first half. But if I need to make those, I can grab some concrete. Although I have plenty of concrete, I could just grab some steel beams. So let's head back now that that's unlocked and we know we can make that. So the reason I decided to go with extending the coal over the oil is we have a lot of factories to just build. We need the iron factory, the concrete factory. Beyond those and the copper factory, beyond those and the steel factory, and beyond those, we are not making motors, we're not making stators, we're not making a lot of these things that we really need to make. And that is why we need to kind of backtrack and go back to coal and just up our deal here, you know what I mean? So anyway, we're gonna go with the these can take one. They still can just take the one. So we might as well. All right. We need the splitters on these guys. So I think we're gonna come from, actually we could come from the middle and probably, this is the deal. We have to split it that way. We have to split it that way, and then we have to go up and split it again. So, can we... Yeah, I think we could do this. Let's come from the inside here. And I think we're gonna run it from the inside. If we have to change it, I'll let you know. Again, these only have to be 2s. You can make them 3s. You can make them anything you want. Except for 1s, because 1s would be too slow. So these definitely have to be 2 or more. Alright. We might end up taking this back over to this way a little bit, because we're going to have to split it there, and then bring it up and split it up in there. So these will have to be 4s. These will have to be... I don't want to cut this off just yet. I might bring it back down in here and then bring it up here or something. So anyway, let's see. Let's run the water pipes next. I'm gonna paint these first. So this way I can just copy these. I didn't want to paint the concrete, it's fine. I can just copy these so they'll be blue already. And I'm just gonna run this one, say right here. And see how that snaps to that? That is why you need to do this. And this guy, we can actually get rid of him because we have enough power that even if we're not using, we don't need him, but we need to connect that really quick. There we go. But yeah, that makes the most sense. We don't need him right away. We're making enough power that if we pull off 75, it's not going to make a difference. See? So it's fine. You could start connecting and disconnecting some. All right, we need those T-junctions. Let's turn this around. And we're going to bring it back to right there. And that's plenty of room for the second pipe to go, so that's good. All right, let's grab those pipes again. All right, let's bring these down. We could do that. Come on. So yeah, see how they want to wrap around? Try to point at the front of this. But see how that will still run around. It's got to be pointed to that one. This one has to be pointed at that one. Otherwise it will try to like wrap around. Here we're going to change this to straight. So this way it goes in completely straight. Alright, that's our first line. Now we have to do the T-junctions all over again for down in here. So, should be right here. See where I want to come. Right there. All right, we're gonna wrap this pipe around. All right, so other than the coal, it's getting everything it needs. Now, before we do anything else, let's take a look at this. This is a Mark II miner. It was originally a Mark 1. That's the Mark 1, right? So what you can do is you just click on it, press E if you have a keyboard, and upgrade it to the Mark II. Inside, we're going to take a look here. It's at 240. We need it to be 480 because we're quadrupling the first set. The first set is going to take, so there's 8 on a set. It's going to take 120. The second set is going to take another 120 and so on. So we got it up to 480 because that's all the belt that we can handle. This is going to have to be a Mark IV. This would have to be a Mark IV. Now I got to figure out how I want to split this. Right now it's getting split up there, split here. And I want to make sure I don't get these guys offline just yet until I get these online. So I want to make sure I split it where I keep these guys running, but it's not going to be a permanent situation. So I'm wondering if I could do a splitter, say here, and drop this guy into here. No, it's a little off. What if yeah, it's a little bit off. We might be able to move it for now, but my thought is, what if I did this? Nope, it's a little too high. I might be able to move it down just a little bit. Let's see. Let's try that. No, it's a little bit too much. You know what? We're just gonna get rid of it. We're gonna make it work. So I did not want to shut these machines off, but I can always hook them back up after I get this sorted. Alright, so technically this is going to go around and split. Now I have not thought about this too much, right? I think we'll take these guys down a little bit so I can see. So if that's going to be right there where the split's going to be, actually I could put just this guy here, because that's going to be the center. Let's do that. And then it's going to be split up there. So I'm going to need 2 splits. So what I'm going to have to do is, let's go up here. Up here. Oh, I did not want to do that. Alright, complete fail. There. 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 And I want to get over there. I'm stuck. There. Alright. So this is going to go down this middle here. These guys are going to get moved over. I'm thinking we take this 4. And I could probably bring it right there. No, I'm going to go in front of it. Let's go right. Let's do this. MK4. Where's the center of that? It's going to come in here. And it's going to go up. I got to get up there again. So this is the difficult part, judging it. And that's why I wanted to get up there. But I was way off on that one as well. So it did not matter. Alright. I want to make sure this clears this. That's fine. And I got it the wrong way. Of course I got it the wrong way. You know what? We're going to put this here. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to put this to the center. I think it was right here. Hopefully. I'm going to press R. Once we get down here, let's go. Make sure you press, am I off? Am I off? No. Okay, press R. So it's going in that direction. I'm going to take this and just connect it to there. We're going to take this off. So now, this should, without a doubt, we're going to take a splitter. Put it on here. Where are you? Gotta get it the right height. I think it could be that. And I'm gonna do... see, that's where we're gonna need another splitter going down that way. Alrighty. Let's see. That is directly in the middle of these. I'm gonna move this pipe a second. And I'm gonna take one of these. And that's gonna be going into there. And I gotta make sure this lines up with this one. And that would be right here. 2 and 3. Alright. So now I can delete the bottom two. Hook up this pipe again. There we go. And then that's going to come directly into here. And then that one will go into there. So now this needs to be technically a 3. But I'm just going to make it a 4. Just to make sure that it's working. So I'm going to press E and do that. So that's going to bring everything up at the 480. Technically, that's going to get split down that way. And then that is going to go up there and bring it down there. And then we're going to have another splitter splitting that. I hope that makes sense. It should make sense. So anyway, these guys are going to fill up. Now, these guys are going super slow. It doesn't really matter, but I could speed it up with the Mark IV belts just to get it kind of rolling down and into the machines a little quicker. That would kind of help out, but I ran out of encased beams. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to grab some steel beams, and I'll show you, we're going to just make some encased beams, just so we have some. So again, encased beams, just like many things, you can just put down a crafting bench, and you can craft them by hand. So I got a bunch of, I'm going to put some of those back a little bit there. And I do have extra coal on me from deleting those other machines, so I could put those in there. But anyway, right here is the encased beams, and you could just make them. Alright, that should be good enough for now, but we do have the beams on us if we need to make more. Alright, so I'm back. I have the extra coal. I'm just going to fill up the last machines. That makes the most sense. And then we'll be able to get some power to this and get this running. And this way, we could start removing some of the other. So this is basically, I don't know why I put the power slug in it. There we go. Alright, so we can turn these back into the 2s. So I'm going to grab the 2 now that it's filled and go back down to this. And we'll get those encased beams back anyway. But you know what? I like to have a little bit extra on hand anyway. So that works. Alright, so power. Let's go grab some power. We got these poles here. That's an MK1. We're going to make that a 2. That is already a 2. Let's see. We'll make that one a 2. We can't daisy chain just yet. But we do have... Wow, I'm just behind here. I have this up in the air. We need to move that. I need to connect that back up or our water's not going to run. Well, it might. Because I think I'm pulling from the steel, but it's fine. The steel won't run. So anyway, we're going to take these back ones and just connect them over to here. And then when we get to the third one, we can connect that there. That's fine. Eventually, we'll daisy chain this. It'll look better. Actually, eventually, we won't even need coal power. But that's beside the point. I'm going to clean up some of these power poles. I think I'm going to bring some on the inside here so it looks a lot neater and run it down. But for now, I just want it up and running so we don't lose too much power. That guy is still red. Why? Do you not have power? You don't have power. So yes, I connected some of the top ones. There we go. Do I have any of the other top ones connected? Nope, I think we're good. Alright, so these guys are up and running. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm sorry, it's a lot. But, I've talked to you guys before, and you've all said that you want to see the process of what goes on. And it can get a little convoluted, and yeah, things happen. So I'm going to take away all these guys, and we're going to reset the bottom. And we'll try to get all the bottom done first. I'm careful with mass deleting because I could delete stuff I don't want to delete. And I want to be careful. Now, all this I would like to make concrete. Which once the machines are on it, it's a little bit more difficult, but it'll be fine. So now these water pipes will be obsolete. We could take them off and we don't need them anymore, and it'll be great. So we at least do that. I mean, it wasn't like it was a big problem, but it was just, we don't need them. So I'm going to take this guy. We're going to turn him around, obviously. And I got to line him up with this. So I'm just going to pop him in. I'm going to press H because I'm not sure where that guy is exactly. He's pushed back just beyond there. Okay. So he's got to get pushed back. How far? A little bit more. Now, why is he not fitting? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, because I deleted the ones on top. That's what we got to do. So we did need to delete the ones on top. See? I get lost. All right. There's where we want to be. Now I could copy you. And you have to be here. Press H. Bring you back. Bring you over. Is that right? Wow, it helps if I could jump. He is right before the line. So he's got to go back just a little bit. One click. And for some reason, he does not like that. Why? Because there's an animal in the way. Son of a bitch. Of course he won't move. No, that would be too easy. Kind of waited a minute, see if he would move. Can you get out? Now he's stuck. So there's a mod to remove this guy, which is amazing, because these guys get in the way of everything. And because we're on 1.2, I don't have the mod. So he just won't die either. Come on. Now he died, I think. It's quite annoying, because they do get stuck in a lot of things here. That's where I want to be. The creature is still in the way. Is he alive still? See the problems I face? There we go. Finally he died. Alright, I thought I killed him before, but apparently I did not. So now, I guess that won't count, right? That's where I want to be. It's lined up. You can see it. Alright, we're going to go down the line. Perfect. All right. This was, like, annoying. Sorry about that. I'm going to take this. Okay. Alright, we need those splitters. They're going to come from that side. Alrighty. I'm going to go back over to here. I'm going to copy the MK2 belt. Alright, so I'm going to have a lot of coal. No, I don't. Believe it or not, the power just kind of ran on until we didn't have any more, so that's fine. We do have a little bit. That's great. Okay. Alright, so now we got to do the pipes. So let's... Oh, actually, why don't we connect this first? Because this way we don't forget to connect that. Alright, let's get the T-junction. We're going to come in off of here. Alright, we got that going on. Grab this pipe on the inside. Oh, why? I forgot to put a T-junction there. Wow. And then that one we don't need. Alright, so this should hook into there. And there. And then last but not least. And then let's remember, whoops, to put them into the machines. Alright, T-junction again. And we could take this pipe and run it this way. Then we can grab the T-junction and line it up there. And And there. Go grab this. Alright, so water's hooked up. Coal is hooked up. It's running down the line. That'll be filling up. We can kind of leave that alone. Right now, only the biomass and the first set is hooked up. I'm going to rerun these power lines just so they look better and I can bring them in. So I think I'm going to come off of this one, obviously. I'm just going to take the poles for now, and I'm not hooking them up just yet. Alright, so everybody's green. We're good. Alright, now we can disconnect these poles here for now. That one's fine. That's going to that. And that's going to that. And my freaking messages are going off like crazy! Okay. Sorry, it's Easter morning, and the whole family is just, yeah, DMing everybody on a family chat, and I'm getting dinged every 2 minutes. Alright. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave this here. I will remove it, but I need something to get up there a lot easier, so I'm just gonna do this. Alright. So these guys just need power. I think all the coal should be in there, all the water. It is. Alright, so we can actually go down the line here and bring the poles from here right to here. We'll do those 3. We'll bring this down. That's 3. We'll put it in front of this one. And then we'll bring it down and do these 4. Alright. So now we should have 1200 power. We do. So the 1500 is with the biomass, and 1200 is our coal. Alright, I'm going up top. And here's where we're going to start deleting all this mess. So we couldn't do the 2400 power. I think I explained it before because you needed the 4 80 belts. You can only do that when you have Mark IV belts. So that is why we could not, extend this. Now, you could have went to, I think the last time I started out with 8 power generators and then went to 16 by the end of the episode due to the fact that we did need more power for our power slugs for our space elevator parts, which I wasn't expecting to honestly do the space elevator parts immediately, but it ended up that it just made sense to do it in the last episode and speed run through the tiers 3 and 4. So this all is going to get deleted, but we can move on. I'll leave that there. Is the power disconnected? It is. Okay, perfect. Alright, so we are up on top here. We can set up the first set over here, and then we'll set up the second set over here. Alright, so we need the Mark 1. There we go. We need the splitters coming in from the inside. Then we need the Mark 2 conveyor belt. Alrighty. So we're honestly going to need to bring that splitter down in here. Are we going to be able to do that with these pipes in the way? We will make it work somehow. This power pole here, we're going to get rid of. We don't need him. We have power poles back here to connect those. So let's figure out how we're going to run this down and split this off with these guys kind of in the way. I might be able to have it float in the air. What we might do is actually take this out and let's do this a second. I'm going to show you something. We're going to take that out. If you hear the ding, it's just that everybody is, I told you it's Easter. So, sorry. Okay, that is where that would sit. That is where that would sit. We can come straight across. Okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to just pop that there a second. I didn't have to remove that, but it's fine. Oh, this is going to mess up everything. God damn it, stop beeping. I gotta turn off notifications on my watch. Can I do that? Let me see. Okay, I think I did it. I try not to do that because otherwise I don't answer texts at all and people get a little upset with me. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It happens, right? This what? You know what? Let me see something here. If I went... You know what? We're going to keep that there a second. I'm going to grab this. This is going to come in, say, here. But I need a splitter up here. So right here is going to be a splitter. So let's grab that splitter. That's going to come in from here. And I got it. Line it up there. And that's okay. It could float. Because it's actually going to be grounded with a... I'm just going to make it a 4. It doesn't have to be a 4. It only needs to be a 2 for 240? Yeah, I think whatever it is. But 270, so it has to be a... let's go back into here. It would have to be a 3. It would have to be 270. But it's fine. We can just make it a 4. It's fine. I'm gonna do the same thing with this. It's as long as we got it, why not use it right now? It's fine. Okay. The M2 is all we need going this way, which we'll just use that. And that should set up everything there. Now, as you can see with the water pipes, this one might have to go back. This one should... It's really close to this. I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna take those pipes out a second. So over here, we're going to need the T-junction. I'm going to spin it around. And it needs to line up with here and just barely be seen this way, right? So that's where it needs to be. Let's run down this pole. Pipe, not pole. Getting confused here. Too much shit going on. Alright, so this can't come in this way. So I'm going to use a 4-way junction, because I might have to bring it in. Let's see, could I, let's see where that is. That needs to come out there. We'll take that, and then we're going to come down with this, and we'll go in straight, but we're going to come to here. Where is that? Come on, there. And then it could go into there like that. And that'll keep that neat. Then when we come in with this guy, we can bring him up to the same spot, say, right there. And apparently I didn't turn off notifications. Gosh darn it. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. So now we just need a T-junction. Just ignore those little dings. It's fine. There's one there. Where are you? Come on. Why isn't it not showing me this stupid thing there? I don't know why it doesn't want to show me. That's weird, but it's fine. Alright, so I'm going to connect that into that. That into that. 1, 2, 3, and you go. And then you go into here. Is your number 4. Yes. And then you get connected to there. Alrighty. We need the T-junction again. Spin it around. Alright, so that wants to bump in with that pipe. I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to bring it in here. And then bring it here. Wait a second. Into here. And then connect this to that. Like that. It looks a little neater. A little cleaner. This went on wrong, obviously. Alright. All the water is hooked up. Coal is coming in. And we just have to wait for the water and the coal to fill up. While that's filling up, I'm going to start laying out these guys over here. Alright, so now that you have the basic idea, I'm not going to go through the last set with you. I'm just going to run that and then we'll move on. It just makes the most sense. So, I'm going to hook this up and then I'll show you how to make the water tower. Alright, so we're all up and running. We got 2400 power. Everything I actually made into concrete. You can decorate this, you could build this, you could build around it, you could do anything you want. You could change the color of the machines. Everything is kind of complete and ready to go. This, I don't know where you came from. We're gonna head back to the water tower, and I'm gonna show you how to make your own water tower. It's really not that hard. It's the first time I've ever made one, and it definitely it makes it so much easier that no matter how far you go up or down, as long as the highest peak is at the water tower, then you never have to worry about it because you can go up and down and the water pressure will stay. So that's kind of awesome. Alright, so here's that water tower. I'm gonna load an old save and rebuild this for you. Because I feel bad not building it on camera, and you know, you can use as many water extractors as you need, as long as you get that one pipe going up. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do this. Alright, so here we are where the water extractors are. And I placed down 8, 4 on each side, and I just brought them up to here. I can actually change that to blue, just like that. I set up where the 8 water pipes are going to go up and into the floor holes here. Now, because this is so tall, you need to put a mid piece in the middle to extend your pipes up. And then up top, I have some floor supports to catch the pipes up there. On the sides here, these are where you're going to run your pipe up and over, and they're going to be taller than the pipes that are set here. So let me go up to the top and I could show you. Alright, so here we are at the top. So these guys are placed right above. So we're going to just put this piece of concrete in, and this way it sits higher than those. This will be, at this point here, the highest point I want to be. You can make it higher or lower depending on, but this is higher than anything I'm going to go through over in this area here. So let's see, we're running it down from here and bringing it into our coal. And everything else is lower than that. So this must be the highest point. So next, we're going to go ahead into logistics, grab the Mark 1 pipe, that's what we have, and just set this here and bring it across and bring it right to the edge there. So that's your highest pipe. Anything else from here is going to be lower. So now if you set up the floor holes midway, it should connect right to the floor hole there. I'm going to do the same thing. Let's bring this out just once so I can not fall off the edge. We're going to bring this down and connect it into that floor hole there. Again, highest point. So we're going to drop down and then drop down again. Connect this to the bottom of the floor hole and just connect it into there, and do the same thing on the other side. So now you have your pipe that's going to go all the way around this. So I'm going to just set this to straight. So I did leave that to there. I'm going to take this one, run it around the back here. Actually, let's remove this because I want to do this for you. Take it here. We're going to just run it down, say right there. Then bring it down to the end here. Right here. I'm going to wrap it around this way. We can stop at the midpoint here. Bring it all the way around to the edge here. I'm just going to get rid of that. I thought I deleted everything for you, but apparently I did not. There we go. Alright, continue this pipe running down the backs here. So we'll stop about here. Bring it down. And then it's going to connect back into here. Alright, next let's run the pipes here to here. You either have to go into auto or horizontal to vertical. If it's on straight mode, it'll show red. Now you will have to come in behind here just to connect it to the backs. Whoops. I'm stuck on that pipe. That's fine. Alright, so now you got your pipes there. Next, you're going to go back into straight mode and connect these guys to here. Make sure they stay straight. There you go. Next, we actually have to connect all these pipes to the outside pipes. So we're going to go into Q. We're going to go into the T junction. What I like to do is right before there, connect that, and then hold control, line up, just like that. And we're going to do that with each one of these. Next, we're going to go into the center here and line those up. And then I'm going to connect this. So the first one is going to get connected to the first one. And then this one will get connected to here. This one here. And lastly, this one here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to come over to here. And I'm going to line this up just like that. And then this one will get lined up to that one. And then I'm going to continue to do this down the line. All right. Now we have to go back up. So let's go back all the way to the top. I'm just going to remove that foundation. And we're going to delete this concrete. So that's just going to sit above. Now we have to connect the pipes from here to here. Oh, it's better if we come down probably. Don't forget, you got to go into auto or horizontal. I think we need to drop. Okay. And then we can do this last one. All right. So next, let's drop back down. We're going to need pumps just on this first one. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go into here and grab this pump. Now I'm going to place this one pretty close to the bottom. Make sure it's going up. And next, where I see that, I'm just going to go right below it. I'm going to take out this concrete a minute. Even that one. Just so I could see where it's going. Alright, so we're going to need to come in a little bit further. Make sure you get right below that. So there should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should need one more. The only thing I want to do is I want to double check that one. Okay. And then flip it around. All right. Next, we need to connect all these to power. Let's put this here. All right. Now we should be able to put these guys back in. And these pumps should work. There we go. All right, so let's climb back up to the top. Now, don't forget, if you need to overclock these, make sure you're overclocking them and they're all set. Right now, I don't have any of them overclocked. It's fine because each of the ones back on, it needs to be at 200. Let's just say that. Each one needs 200 because each of the power generators take 50. So each one is going to go to 4. All right, we're going to come back to the top here. And let's see if our water is full. It is. So now these guys should all be full. So now, if I take these, let's just take this. Okay. Damn it, it did it again. Gotta be careful. You gotta point to that and not all the way through. They're very finicky. All right. As you can see, all our water pumps are full. So that is how you make a water tower. I hope that was pretty explanatory and I hope it was easy enough for you to follow. It's not very hard at all. You just got to make sure that outside pipe is connected to all your inside pipes. And then once that has that head lift there, everything else will go as long as it's underneath that height. So that's going to conclude today's episode. We did have, oh, wow, I just took damage. We did have a lot. It is a bit repetitive because we did coal power already, but we did it on a much bigger scale, and that should be, going forward, we can make a lot more of the smaller factories that we need to do, beginner factories. So now I think we're going to have to set up at least a small encased beams, because now we're going to use a lot of encased beams for our factories because we're going to use Mark IVs. So, next episode, I think we're going to start making factories. We're going to start making iron and copper and even a concrete factory. We definitely need that. And we'll start making little factories all around our world. So, if you like my content and you want to see more, like, subscribe, comment, share. I do have memberships, 99 cents, $2.99. $2.99 will get you a shout out after every episode, just like coming up next. Thanks for watching. Bye.